this COVID situations, it is very difficult to us to meet physically. So it's a nature gave us this things to ask us to cope up from the situations. So in this situation also we have to try ourselves to see, to progress, to find out the path to reach or to attain our goal. So again, welcome all of you to this final semester. So in this semester we are going to see the topic called as a quantitative research methods, which is a very important for all of us to see is what exactly means of quantitative research methods. So let's begin with this. We have to see the different things. So what is the research? What are the objectives of the research? What is the motivation of the research? Types of the research and significance of the research. If simply you just see here research, okay, if I try to bifurcate it like this, research, what is the meaning of that? Research, something has done earlier, you have to just go and revisit the same and find out the alternative. One can also define research as a scientific and systematic search for pertained information on a specific topic. In fact, research is an art of scientific investigation. If you go and want to see a dictionary meaning of the research carefully, it is a careful investigation or inquiry, especially through a search for new facts in any branch of knowledge. Some people consider research as a movement. It is a movement. Somebody says that research is nothing but it is a path from unknown, from known to unknown. So research is orgasm of the discoveries. When unknown confronts more and more, our inquisitiveness will increases, and this inquisitiveness is the mother of all knowledge and the method which one employs for obtaining the knowledge of whatever the unknown can be termed as a search. Research is an academic activity, and as such the term should be used in a technical sense. According to Woody, says that research comprises defines and redefining problems, formulating hypotheses, or suggest solutions, collecting, organizing, and evaluating data, making deductions and reaching conclusions, and at last carefully testing the conclusion to determine whether they fit the formulating hypothesis. So somebody says that research is nothing but the manipulation of things, concepts, or symbols for the purpose of generalization to extend correct or verify knowledge, whether the knowledge aids in a construction of the theory or in the practice of an art. So like that's different scientists, different philosophers gives the different definition of the research. So what are the objective of the research? Why we have to do the research? For example, if you want to see that since March itself, or you can say since December, we are all, not only in India, across the globe, we are facing the problem of this pandemic situations, this COVID problem. But this COVID problem studied by number of authors, number of researchers. You go and just type on the Google COVID-19, you will get so many things, so many results. Means what? They went to sparse. It is not like that this is a totally novel virus. It is a family of in other viruses. In between, Ebola came in exist. They try to solve that, but till it is remain the same. Means what? Research is a continuous activity. It is a continuous process. So again and again you have to go. You have to search what are the new things we can add. Suppose we having the problem of the drought, for example, supposed to be, you know that our Usmanabad district in Maharashtra, which is known for a drought prone area. So a team of researchers will come, they will study, and they will come with, after doing some research, they will tell that okay, so if you want to cope up from this problem, if you want to solve this problem, so you have to take these 1 2 3 measures. First, supposed to be watershed management activity has to be increased, the awareness about the water has to be increased, a compulsory water harvesting process has to be done for each and every households who are living in the Usmanabad district. Also, there has to be a CC contour curves in all the hilly regions, so that more and more water has to be stopped, and so that more and water has to be percolate in the ground, and so that water table has to be increased. This is one committee came and supposed to be these suggestions if they have gave. Suppose the another committee will be come and they will visit and they will say that yes, the committee studied this and they have suggested 4 parameters or four suggestions they gave. But today's situations, these 4 situations are not possible. If you can see the economy a background of the people, the water harvesting for each and every household is not possible. Yes, do agree that the contour curves are good, but we have to rework on it. So like that, number of suggestions may comes over a period of time. That is nothing but a research. So everyone know that one story which everyone uh, had in their childhood called as Crow, Thirsty Crow. Very interesting story that one thirsty crow will be there, so he want to drink water, so he searched everywhere in all the directions he went, and finally he found something there where water is there. Suppose it is in the small pond, the water is there, and that crow came roam around and he found that water is there in that pot. So, but he observed that the water level is so down, he cannot drink that water that much of easily. So then what he did, he took a small stones and put it on that pot one by one, one by one, one by one, and so that he observed that one thinks, if he will put one stone, the water level coming up. If he will put another stones, so water level is increasing. As he putting more and more stones, the water level is increasing slowly, slowly, slowly. So what means that this is a process he did, and he observed that doing this activity, this will increase. Whatever the science behind that, that is different. But he found out that solution, and he reached at one point that the water came such a level that he can dip his stroke and he can drink easily the water, and his problem got solved, and he got happy in that. But now in the current situations, another crow comes, because as the technology growing, as knowledge increasing, as so many research has been done, then again somebody said that okay, again one more crow came. He searched the same thing, he did the same things, he also found the same pot, he also found the same level of the water. Again he want to drink the water. What he did, he just brought one plastic straw, he dipped in that and he drank the water. See, problem is the same, but you got the two alternatives. It doesn't mean that first alternative was totally wrong, because he found at that point of time that solution came at that situations. Therefore, that is also important. But new fellow, what he did means he reduced his work, he reduced the risk in that. So that is the purpose of the research. That is the motivation of the research. We have to reduce the efforts. That's why if you can see the new technology when comes, so before that if you can see the Java based mobile was there in the market, but now if you can see Android mobiles are there. When first time I saw the mobile, it was a this much of big one, and it having some tower, but now no need of that. It is very smart, right? So they brought some good sound systems, so they brought good cameras, so nobody wanted the different cameras. They're having watch, they're having alarms, all gadgets are there. Means every time the addition of the knowledge is there, and which will provide helping hands to the society. Why we have to do the research? We have to help the society, we have to help the people, we have to solve the problems and find the best alternative solutions. So that is the research, that is the motivation of research. Let us see, we'll move to the next uh, slides. So again, research is divided into basically two categories. One is the qualitative research, another is the quantitative research. So qualitative research means what? Which deals with the attributes like happiness, like intellectual, sex, gender. So this kind of parameters where we are dealing, that kind of research we are calling as qualitative research. And another wing is called as a quantitative research. Mostly the qualitative research done by mostly anthropologists, sociologists, right? And qualitative means what? Sorry, quantitative. Quanta means what? Numbers. So where we are dealing with the numbers, purely numbers, where numbers tell the stories, that is nothing but the quantitative research methods. Sometimes we call it as a statistical methods. Means quantitative methods is nothing but the statistical methods. So in that statistical methods, we are going to deal with the three main measures called as a measure of central tendency, measure of dispersions, correlation and regressions. Somebody may say that okay, research is there, You said research is very important, so we increased our interest and we have started doing a research. But again you came with the two different specifications. Again in one specifications also there are, you are telling you have to do this, you have to do that, and you are giving so many things at a time. But friends, if you can see in that quantitative research methods, I gave first as a measure of central tendency. What measure of central tendency will do? Measure of central tendency means what? This will find out the center point of your observations. Suppose you have a set of observations. So measure of central tendency will find the center point of your observations. Is this measure will satisfy our things or satisfy our mottos? No, at all. Again in measure of central tendency, there are three methods. Already some of you might have been studied this, called as a mean, mode and median. You give sir first as a measure of central tendency. In that measure center of tendency, again you are giving three more options, called as a mean and mode and median. What is this? If we have one mean, then why we have to study mode? If I am having mean and mode, what is the role of median? That is interesting. So we cannot use a single measure for all sorts of data. Each and every measure has their own limitations. Generally we use the mean as a average, right, as a measure. Can it help us at every time? No, sorry. Mean means what we'll do, we'll have a total number of observations and we'll divide the total number of observations. We'll add the all observations and we'll divide by the total number of observations and we'll say that this is the center point of this observations. Right. Means what? Suppose I'm having a 10 students and if I want to find the average percentage of this, then I will just add the percentage of these 10 students and I will divide by 10. This is a definition of called as a mean. Suppose there is a one village in Usmanabad district and having supposed to be 200 households in that village, and I want to see their average income. Okay, and I found that in that 200 household village there are 10 big farmers are there and they are having almost 100 acres land, and whatever the rest 190 households, so out of that 50 households are landless and remained 140 are small and marginal farmers, and on top of it the quality of the lands is also not good. And I have recorded their incomes and I used as a measure of central tendency. Then what I have observed that the income of these 10 farmers are in crores and the rest of are in thousands, and whenever I find out the average income of the total average as a mean, it comes in lakhs. Unfortunately, if you go and see, the most of the farmers incomes are lies between 30,000 to 50,000. So means here your usual measure of central tendency mean has failed to explain the things. Means this measure is not appropriate measure for such a kind of data, right? Therefore we have to change our measure of central tendency. That's why we are studying three different things. Now let us see measure of central tendency is there. Till we have to study measure of dispersion. Why? That is obvious question. Anybody can ask that. So already we have one measure. Why you are want to be a study as another kind of measure called as a measure of dispersion? Because this measure of dispersion will help you to understand more insights. The measure of central tendency having some ambiguities. To remove these ambiguities, we require another kind of measure called as a measure of dispersions. For example, there are three batsmen are there. They are playing very nicely, regularly. Okay, there is a batsman A, batsman B, and batsman C are there. Okay, then out of these three batsmen, so batsman A and these all three batsmen plays almost supposed to be a 5 matches. Okay, somebody has to respond me meanwhile in this case. If suppose batsman A played a 5 matches, so in first 3 matches is on a 0 score, right, like this. And if you can see all the things,